In this session, we will talk about vectors. So vectors are in general defined as the quantities which have both magnitude and a direction. But this is just the general definition, but we have to understand the vectors in detail to understand their roles in physics. So before we talk about vectors in detail, let's talk about scalars first, because scalars are much simpler than vectors. Why they are much simpler? Because they only have a magnitude but no direction. For example, my mass is 76 kg. So 76 is a number that is enough to tell everything about my property of mass, and hence the mass is a scalar quantity. The another example can be the water in this beaker. Suppose the water in this beaker is 175 ml. So 175 is the number that is associated to the volume of the water in this beaker, and hence it is just a scalar. Since scalars are just the numbers, they follow all the rules of arithmetic operations. For example, if I have three scalars a, b and c. Now, if I add the two scalars a and b, suppose, then it doesn't matter if you add a to b or b to a. The end result will be the same. Or if I multiply a with b or b with a, the end result will be the same. These laws are known as commutativity laws. Suppose if I have to add three numbers or three scalars for that instant, so a plus b plus c. So it doesn't matter if I add b and c first and then add it to a, or if I add a and b first and then add the summation to c. It doesn't matter. The end result will be the same. Similarly, if I have to multiply the three numbers, so a into b into c is equal to a into b into c. So it doesn't matter if you multiply b and c first and then multiply it with a, or a and b first and then multiply it with c. The end result will be the same. These are associativity laws. So all such laws are followed by scalars. Before we talk about vectors, consider this scenario. Suppose I am at this position A and I want to go at this position B, but I don't know the location of the position B. So what I will do is I will take out my cell phone and search for a position B location in the Google Maps. So the Google Maps tells me that the location B is at a distance 5 km away from the position A, that is the position where I am currently at, and at northeast direction. So in order to locate the position B, I had to know the two information. One is the distance and another is the direction. Without either of these two, I couldn't have navigated the location B correctly. So these two informations are crucial for me, and hence these two informations are incorporated in a quantity known as a vector. So vector is graphically represented by an arrow starting from position A and ending at this position B, and the tip of the arrow points in the direction of the vector, and the length of the arrow gives you the distance between the points B and A, that is nothing but the magnitude of the vector. So this magnitude of the vector is often proportional to the length of this arrow. Now this vector has this direction which is given by the tip of the vector or the tip of the arrow, but there can be many directions like this, like this, like this, or like this. I can't come up every time with a new name to denote the directions. So what I will do is I will introduce a variable which is nothing but angle theta that this vector makes with the horizontal as an indicator of a direction. For that is, if my theta is equal to 0 degree, the vector points in the right direction, that is east direction. If my theta is equal to 90 degree, the arrow points upwards, that is the vector points in the north direction. And if theta is equal to 45 degree, the direction of vector is northeast direction, which is our case. So now we have understood how the vectors are denoted graphically. let's talk about how they are represented analytically. Suppose let's take the example of this vector only. So let's say the distance between the points B and A is AB. So then the vector is analytically represented by AB with the arrow on top of its head, and this arrow points in the right direction. So this arrow which is pointing in the right direction doesn't mean that the vector is pointing in the right direction. It is just a notation. For example, I have another vector, suppose, which is CD. Even this vector I can write as CD with a arrow on top of its head pointing in the right direction. So the right directed arrow is just a notation. So there are different notations people use. For example, I can also write the AB bar vector as AB dash or CD dash for in case of CD bar vector. So these are just different notations. Some textbook use a bold letters to denote the vectors. So now we have understood how graphically and analytically the vectors are represented. Now the next logical thing would be to understand the various operations based on vectors. So let's see what are those. The two vectors are equal only when their magnitude and direction both are equal. So if I have two vectors, let's say AB bar like this with an angle theta with the horizontal, and let's say I have another vector which is A dash B dash with the same magnitude and let's say the same angle theta, then that is AB bar magnitude is equal to A dash B dash bar magnitude and angle theta are equal, then these two vectors are equal because both of their magnitudes and direction are equal. You can also see this as a vector which is translated in this direction. So this is the horizontally translated vector, that is A dash B dash is the same vector as AB. So even if you translate this vector AB vertically like this, even then it is the same vector because its magnitude is not changed and its direction is also not changed. So if you translate this vector anyhow, like horizontally or vertically or in any combination of these, the vector will be the same except you rotate the vector. For example, if I rotate this vector like this in this direction, then the magnitude will remain the same. Let's say the vector becomes PQ. The magnitude remains the same, but the angle, let's say, becomes theta dash. So the direction is changed, and hence this vector is not equal to the vector PQ because its direction is not equal to PQ. So these are not same vectors. So now what if I multiply the vector by a scalar? Let's say if I multiply the AB bar vector by alpha, suppose, and let's say alpha is greater than 0. So in this case, the magnitude of the vector AB bar will increase alpha times. So the magnitude will be AB bar modulus times alpha, but the direction will remain the same. But what if the alpha is negative? So alpha is less than 0. Even then the magnitude will be alpha times AB bar magnitude, but the direction will be the opposite of the initial direction. That is, it is 180-degree opposite to that of the original vector. So these are some operations that we have discussed regarding vectors. So in this session we talked about vectors in a context of distance and direction, but there is no necessity that the vectors are only of distance and direction. There can be another types of vectors such as electric field vector or magnetic field vector, where the electric field strength and magnetic field strengths are the magnitude of the vectors and the directions are given accordingly. So there can be a momentum vector also. So we will see these types of vectors in the upcoming sessions as we progress in the study of our next concepts in physics.